Yeah, Kevlar, I'm sorry, man. You're paying too much attention to this one stock. It must be like you have every dollar you have on it or something, which is probably not very much. May I suggest you start reading books? Here's an excellent book. You know, I don't know you well, but I feel like I kind of know you through the internet, you know? So like, check this out. It's a really good book. It might start to increase your earnings potential. You might actually become, I don't know, if you read books like this, someday you might be rich. Oh, you want Axler? I got Axler in the back. Full port might be dumb, DDD. I don't know. Full port sounds a little risky. Math lessons for everybody? No, the problem is I'm the regard. What is a basis? That is what every freshman is trying to ask himself. I think 𝗕𝗄𝗄𝗃. What's a subject I don't know but would like to? Algebraic number theory. You read 48 Laws of Power, man. You're asking about Axler. I gotta get Axler for you. I got Axler, okay? What more do you need? We got a library of every single... I'm pointing it at the microphone like it can talk to it. Man, we got every math book in library. We got bookshelves of math books. Why'd I get them? Just to get them. Just because, like, if I hit my head enough with it, maybe it'll work. Maybe it'll work. I don't know. Maybe it'll be smart someday. Mike has noise. Yeah, that's the idea. Yeah, I'm not big in statistics, and you know, I know the basics, but I should, if I really wanted to do mathematical finance, I'd do all the work in statistics. But it's too boring. Like I like computer science, number theory, like stuff that's more intellectual. Maybe is the way to put it. Like staring at time series all day is just not. It's not my thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Yeah, I think we're looking at some people here in New York that could jump in and start potentially being quant experts that can help us here. Jane Street or CITSEC or something. We actually tried to get a guy leaving Citadel who ended up joining Anthropic, but it sucks because we would have paid him actually more than Anthropic, but what can you do? Statistics for biotech is really easy. I mean, you don't need any. You need high school statistics for biotech. But yeah, for me, I'm working on the discrete. I'm saying all of it at once. The elliptic curve discrete log problem, ECDLP, which I really like. And you know, there's a lot of ways to get a math education. You can do it by the book, which is with a curriculum, which is great. It's probably the best way to do it. But the other way to do it is you just immerse yourself in a problem and work your way backwards. And this is what 𝗕𝗄𝗃 suggests, actually. If you want to come into it tabula rasa, obviously nobody's completely blank slate. Everybody learns a little something. But now with my newborn son, I'm going to start him off with abstract algebra instead of like arithmetic and all that. I'm just going to be like, forget all that. I want you to work and think about generally what is a group, what is a ring, what is a field. Think axiomatically. Don't worry about what 7 + 8 is, which every kid's like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I got 3 more fingers. Then I need 5 more fingers. That's 15. I just want them to be like Zermelo-Fraenkel axioms. Yeah, man. Art of problem solving. Great book. Or great series, I guess. Yeah, counting is not that important. Abstraction. Everything's about abstraction. I think in a different universe, Elon would be working for me, but no, I'm kidding. I don't know. I think his companies are interesting. I don't know. Probably XAI is his most interesting one. Mathématiques Madame. That's really helpful. Doesn't mean it'd be failure for everyone, by the way. All I see when I see Mathématiques Madame is a new age band. Okay, here we go. Rote memorization to deep learning. Okay. Yeah, but this is, I guess, the general idea. This idea wasn't so much start kids with abstract algebra, but maybe it is, actually. Maybe you're right. This is fascinating. Thank you so much. Davy Leuven. There's no manipulation in the market. I don't know what that is. How do you manipulate a market? I've tried. It doesn't work. If you try to manipulate a market, guess what happens? Somebody with more money than you shows up. And they're like, thank you. Thank you for the money. I don't know anything about utilities. I know next to nothing about RKT. I think that's just arbitrage, to be honest, but that's a good question. You could argue it's manipulation. I don't know. HFT is not market manipulation. It depends on whether, like, again, the hard part about manipulation is that somebody with more money shows up and is like, no.
Top news alert, preview Tesla set for strong quarter fueled by rush to get expiring
All they have to do is say, I see what you're doing. Here's $1 billion in your face. Doing. Right? So the problem is most of the game theoretical situations in finance, people will join instead of the more join your trade than negate it. Yeah, I'm still long SPRB. Yeah, I'd rather not do HFT as well, but it can make you a lot of money, I'd say that. And you could do it solo or with a small team. Cramer was a very weird trader. He was an old school trader. He never even thought about doing something programmatic. Cramer just had this insane market feel. Like, he really had great instincts. But I can't say, Cramer ever manipulated a market. I think he, just being such a visceral trader, he was not in the pits literally, but in sort of in the foxhole alternative data, before alternative data ever existed. Oh, Cramer's the man. Yeah, Baker did one of my IPOs. I like those guys a lot. They're very nice people. For the great success they've had, they're very approachable and nice. Yeah, I think Munger's not wrong, but I also think there's so many ways to skin the cat. It's not that he's wrong at the exclusion of every other approach. There are plenty of people who made plenty of money, more than Munger, and even I would argue Buffett, although that's a tough argument to make. He's compounded for a really long time. Hedge fund Cramer and talk show Cramer actually were not wildly different, other than I will tell you that, like, the guy was just a ruthlessly good trader, and the 2 or 3 guys that followed in his footsteps that worked directly for him, this is not me, by the way, they were just very, very, very talented at cutting losses. So they would just take losses so fast. And, basically if they were down 50 cents in a stock, they'd be out. And, that was, it's an interesting way to trade. It's not for everybody. Oh yeah, hedge fund Cramer language was insane. 90% of the words out of his mouth were curse words. I don't think talk show Cramer, I think that's the point, Anthony, is like talk show Cramer can't tell you his stop loss, can't tell you that he's going to be in the trade for 5 minutes, right? Like, he just doesn't know. Cramer ran a 25% net return hedge fund for 20 years. Like, Cramer is super intelligent. I don't miss working with him. I only worked with him for 9 months, and it was my first job ever, so it wasn't like but yeah, basically Cramer just wouldn't lose money. He refused to lose money. I think as an investor, I have to, it's really tough to say this, but like, the thing about investing and trading and portfolio management and whatever is you don't have to be good at everything. In fact, nobody really is. You do that one thing that you do really well and you can become a billionaire. And I don't know that I'd rather, like, in terms of money management, I'm not sure there are more guys that I'd rather have manage money than Cramer in his prime. Because he really, like, was just a sicko. Like, every trade mattered to him like it was the last trade he would ever make. So that's who you want, managing your money. And you hear from me saying, oh, I'll short more beyond at 9. He would have a heart attack. He would have covered, gone long, sold it, gone short again by now. The guy was just like, refused to lose. And he'd be working the phones nonstop. Yeah, okay, buy 200. Yeah, what's he doing? Tell me what he's doing. Put me up. Get me out. It's just nonstop lunacy. It was crazy to see. It was like worth the price of admission. When you asked him to make an investment, it wasn't the same exact thing. And again, my point isn't to disparage his investing skills. Far from it. He knows more than most people, that's for sure. More than most people on planet Earth. But what he was really Michael Jordan at was that risk management and trading. He was more like just a normal NBA player at investing. Maybe even not an NBA player. But the point is, Michael Jordan wasn't very good at baseball, was he? He's not that good at golf either. He didn't need to be, because he was Michael Jordan at one thing. And that's the story of Cramer, right? It's just not that important or realistic to be great at everything. I have sort of the opposite gift. You know, I'm not a great trader. I'm not great at risk management. But I think I'm really, really great at investing. And the kind of long-term, it's overused and trite phrase, but the long-term PE style investing that includes buying and running companies, which I've done many times successfully, that's what I'm good at. The day-to-day psychology, the shadow boxing of you know, every movement in the market, that doesn't interest me, and I'm not good at it. And I don't care. It doesn't stop me from making money. But you just got to find out what you're really, really good at. And if you're good at anticipating future big rallies, great. Do that. If you're great at, you know, long-term investing and seeing what company's real and what company's fake, do that. You don't have to, you know, do everything. Was Jordan really good at baseball? I didn't think he was. A lot of long short guys make money. I mean, there's plenty of billionaires. I mean, Buffett in his core is a PE fundamental guy. I mean, there's plenty of sales guys on Wall Street that make millions of dollars. Yeah, he was minor league, which is good, but not, he wasn't Michael Jordan at baseball. I think it is probably a mistake to do both, Jake. I do think you should really stick to the one thing that you're good at. Jordan won a lot of championships. Like, he really was, I think, the best basketball player ever. Yeah, some people are good at venture capital investing. Some people are good at, you know, every little thing is different. Got to feel what's comfortable for you, most importantly. But he was a really special basketball player, right? It's good to come at the markets from different perspectives. I think the quantitative perspective is wonderful. I think the private equity perspective is wonderful. You know, the long short perspective, just because if you do it long enough, like, it's kind of normal mode investing, and it's pretty hard. Obviously, some people do it really well. Like, the best long short guys I know are absolute killers. They make 30% a year. So it's not impossible. Why long SPRB? Well, this is my wheelhouse. It's a rare disease drug company, and they have a rare disease from a drug from 𝗪𝗠𝗠. 𝗪𝗠𝗠 was kind of like the rare disease. Okay, quantum rallying here a little bit. 𝗪𝗠𝗠 was the rare disease kings. And yeah, basically, the drug works really well, and it'll get FDA approval, and it'll sell a lot, and that's really it. That's worth like 5x what it's trading at. Yeah, Marwan, I don't care that you want to work for me. I couldn't care less, right? The fact that you're excited doesn't make me excited. 1. 2, we only hire really qualified people. We interview a lot of people for just to hire one person. 3, if you're not in New York, just don't even bother talking to me. I saw the article, but okay, here it is. Thank you, Godel. Only on Godel. Our quantum echoes algorithm is a big step towards real-world applications for quantum computing. On our Willow chip demonstrates algorithm. Okay.
Our quantum echoes algorithm is a big step toward real-world applications for quantum computing. Our Willow quantum chip demonstrates the first-ever algorithm to achieve verifiable quantum advantage on hardware.
Here's the paper. It's called Observation of Constructive Interference at the Edge of Quantum Ergodicity. The dynamics of quantum many-body systems is characterized by quantum observables that are reconstructed from correlation functions at separate points in space and time. In dynamics with fast entanglement generation, however, quantum observables generally become insensitive to the details of the underlying dynamics at long times due to the effects of scrambling. Received last year is definitely funny. A year in print. I love it. Identifying complex correlations between the many-body degrees of freedom in a quantum system is a central goal for simulation of quantum dynamics. Even spectroscopic questions can be formulated in terms of few-point dynamical correlations. As entanglement grows, with system size or evolution time, the resulting dynamics are often ergodic. Okay, let's take a look at some of the results, or the conclusions at least. Interesting. It's a very short paper, by the way. Just a few pages. Towards practical quantum advantage, the combination of large sensitivity and high classical simulation complexity makes higher order OTOCs, such as OTOC, a prime candidate for achieving the long-standing goal of practical quantum advantage. The 65-qubit dataset is projected to range from 2 to 3. The SNR. So the SNR is how many qubits you need for correction? Am I right about that? Signal to noise ratio, quality of a qubit readout, comparing the strength of the signal to background noise. The unknown parameters are then optimized until quantum simulated data match the real-world experimental data. The slow decaying signal size and sensitivity of 𝗤𝗏𝗄𝐶 is demonstrated in figure 2 and 3, make it a particularly suitable candidate for accomplishing this task, which is known as Hamiltonian learning. If you contrive the experiment to do something that only the quantum computer can do, it's not really an advantage, right? It's just you sort of faked a result. And I think this is what IBM complains about. Yeah, exactly, fooled. I think that's exactly what, like, IBM is gonna clap their gums probably here and say, what? You keep claiming supremacy, you keep claiming advantage, but you're not actually delivering it. And I think that's, this breakthrough is not what it seems. I mean, Google publishes a lot, and they can get anything in Nature if they feel like it. But I do agree that like the year length, and then I want to see the peer review. There's a peer review file. This will be funny. So this is the head of Google Quantum. Referee 1. In this work, Google Quantum AI reports on a series of measurements in random quantum circuits. These circuits are constructed to scramble quantum information slower. This is the real right here. You got to read this. Really important. This is where maybe I should have 11 Labs read this. I'm sick of reading. Let's see here.
I find the discussion of real-world applications, in particular the matching of quantum simulations to experimental data, a bizarre twist. It has barely anything to do with the results presented in the paper, and there are 7 pages of supplementary material devoted to it.
This paper introduces several new experimental and theoretical insights at the absolute forefront of quantum computing science.
Overall, this is yet another extremely impressive experiment and theory development from Google, Quantum, AI,
China,
and collaborators.
China. Overall, I view the combination of hardware developments, conceptual and theoretical insights to be of the highest impact in our field, and thus consistent with a journal such as Nature. With that said, I have some comments below.
The readout on this processor has significantly improved along with everything else, mostly due to T1, as the authors state. But what is the readout time? I couldn't find it anywhere.
For certain values, e.g. distance 1243, and cycle plus 23, the average OTOC is larger than 1.
Reference number 4. Remarks to the author. The current experiment is impressive both in scale and accuracy. Measuring OTOCs is an experimental challenge.
So you guys focus on price action too much. Like you got to focus on fundamentals. It's more important to read papers about quantum computing than it is to try to trade the stocks. Big data. Oh, poor Beyond should be read any second now. It's only $4. What if it goes to 100 in a short squeeze, dude? Remember that one time that Game Mart stock went up to 400? I only needed to go to 200. Then I can get my surgery. Game Mart stock went up. Beyond Meat stock gonna go up. You think just because you have a Robinhood account, you can compare yourself to me? Just because you're letting some company take your money? You're an investor now? Yeah, I'm an investor. Close your account, save your money, stop trying to invest. All right, 𝗏𝗏, you too. We're to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to play the D-Wave. We're going to the moon. Quantum annealing. It sounds cool. What are you going to do when Beyond Meat's $1 million a share? Huh? My Moash though. What happened in the Moash? I'm just a mother of all short squeezers. What is it going to do with my leaky? You want to see a picture of me in Wall Street Bets? I just want to show you how it goes. Yeah, I could have been a comedian. I could have been funnier than most. One guy would easily be funnier than Shane. Shane, how do you spell his name? Gillis? Shane Gillis? Yeah. Yeah, don't forget to sign up on Godel. GodellTerminal.com. Yeah, I think Beyond will go back to 1. I just, it's a question of like what velocity do you have, for what, I don't know, different assets in your portfolio. Like, not just about what you think the core value is, although that's pretty important in my eyes. It's feel a little bit, some psychology, I guess. I think that a lot of times when people get smacked in a trade like this, all the volume happened at $6. And now they're sitting here on losses like, oh my God, I lost a fortune. When they just sell and they're out. Now the volume will die out because the guy who got killed in this thing, they're not going back in it. In a few days, it'll be down. And probably in a few weeks, it'll be like down to 1 or 2. But the question is, what is quantum going to go down harder, possibly? You are learning something from the stream and you're enjoying it, please try godelterminal.com. Go on the paid tier with huge amounts of tools that you can't get anywhere else. Check it out. Thank you. If you've made some money, make sure you hit subscribe. If you're short Beyond Meat, if you're short quantum, you should be up a little bit. Pay it forward. And there's a lot of really smart people in the Godel chat, smarter than me, actually. I get most of my ideas from them. So you'd kind of also get the jump on any ideas I have. I type them in Godel first. It's a pretty good return there. Most people really like it. I'm working on an idea. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not, but I have something potentially really exciting. We'll see. And make sure you connect your brokerage so I can see all your data. I haven't looked at 𝗪𝗔𝗬𝗪 in a while. Yeah, connecting brokerage is safe. 70 million people, $70 million of accounts have connected. Yeah, we're going to have some advertising at some point. We're actually kind of trying to stay a little bit on the DL right now, so we haven't launched the product publicly. You guys know about it, but, we haven't taken out ads in the Wall Street Journal just yet. All right, so 441 people have connected their brokers. $72 million. Here's the straight from the Grafana. A lot of people connecting over the last, when we enabled connecting just a month ago already, almost $100 million of our users. That's a very small amount of our users. $72 million worth of the users' accounts. What's XTB? I never heard of that one. There was a permanent discount, Alan, a while back, but those days are over. Grafana's really good. Grafana's a multi-billion-dollar startup, telemetry startup, sweeping across the software industry. And in fact, you can go on, you can actually get the stock price of Grafana, this is crazy, on Godel. There's Grafana Labs, private company. How crazy is that? They had a big gap up. I think they raised some money or something. And you can also see OpenAI. Here's OpenAI. Stock just keeps going up, $6.60 a share, crazy. Here's Anthropic. Okay. Want to see SpaceX? Ticker is SPAC on Godel. Kind of bad luck ticker, right? SPAC. You want to compare them? Okay, I got you. I'll do HMS. I'll do OpenAI, Anthropic. We have figure. Let me see if I can remember the figure. I'll find the ticker. SpaceX. Let's get rid of Grafana. We got Anduril. Yeah, we're going to try to make it so you can trade these privately held companies. SpaceX down this year? That seems... Oh no, it's up 50%. Got it. Yeah, it is kind of crazy. 827. And also apparently he was involved in DeepMind. DeepMind is red from... I'm sorry, Beyond Meat is red from yesterday's aftermarket at least. So I'm not sure the close price of it really matters. The VWAP is pretty ugly for everybody. I don't look at VWAP like, I guess like in a certain dimension, like the number itself doesn't matter that much to me. I guess the idea that like if the most of the trades happen at a certain price and it's a different price now very quickly, well, that means that a lot of people are holding the bag up there.